Conspiracy theories, eh? Wait till you get a load of this.
Hello, and welcome to Cracked Sisters Conspiracies. We're a podcast that covers conspiracy theories, mysteries, and all over spooky shit. My name is Jackie.
And I'm Cassandra.
And we're sisters. God, we're back, baby!
Woo! Live and in person together forever.
Yeah.
I can already tell that the energy is just so much different. It's not the same staring at you through the screen.
It's not, dude. I was watching the fucking video back for the Princess Diana, and I'm pretty sure I thought I froze a couple times, but I just had
just zoning out.
I was so tired, and I was stifling some yawns. God.
Yeah.
Not that the content was boring. I was just very tired.
Sure. Well, yeah, and we're not there physically to prod one another.
Indeedy.
Yeah.
But anywho,
you're back in town for a for truncated visit.
yeah, like 40 hours, not even.
Yeah, you got in this afternoon and we fly you right on back tomorrow.
Yeah, I came and checked out some wedding dresses.
Yes. And so far, I think it's been a successful.
I found one that I like.
Yeah, so we definitely have a contender. We'll try on a couple more tomorrow, which they have more black actually in stock to try on. So
I'm going for black wedding, excuse me, dress.
I'm disgusting. Yeah, no, but black definitely works for you. I really, really liked it.
Me too.
It'll be fun for your wedding in Vegas.
Yeah.
After vowing to never go back to Vegas with my child.
I know.
Here we go.
Hopefully it's better than our last fucking trip.
A disaster.
It was.
But yes, it'll be better. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Do you remember what I'm covering?
I do remember as I'm not looking at your shirt. I am looking at your shirt, not your tits.
I'm wearing a t-shirt that says, it's backwards, but landed in Roswell, loved the city, and then left. And it has an alien on it because today we are covering Area 51 and aliens specific to Area 51.
Which I don't understand how it took us a year.
I know.
Because it's been a year almost.
Almost.
Yeah, next month, I think.
Yeah, because I wanted James to record our episode.
That's
while
right.
we were here. So we're going to do a special 1-year episode. And speaking of which, since we're already talking about it, it's going to be kind of like a Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have any questions that you want to ask us or for us to answer, just send it via our various platforms and we'll throw it into the special episode.
Yes. Looking forward to that. We do have to coordinate. I don't know how that's going to work.
I wanted him to do it today, but he had like all these plans. He's like, I also don't have any questions. So, which is why he wanted me to throw it out there so he didn't have to do any work. But I'm like, bro, we have no one.
And this was his idea, by the way.
Yeah.
I thought about him yesterday because I went to the driving range because I have not heard from him once. Actually, no.
He said he texted you
once to say that it's weird and that everything's going to hell in a handbasket and our podcast is sucking. So it's not the same. I'm paraphrasing,
yeah, of course.
But I haven't heard from him, and we're supposed to be golf buddies. He was supposed to be my friend.
I'll yell at him for you.
You should.
Anyway, yeah, today we're going over Area 51. Like I mentioned before, there's so many different topics of aliens that I could cover, and I will cover at some point, or we will cover at some point. But Mom actually suggested this one of our very few listeners.
She wanted a member, though.
She is. She wanted specifically Area 51 and to learn all about that. So that's what we're going to cover today.
Alrighty.
So Area 51 is a highly classified United States Air Force facility within the Nevada test site and training range.
Transvestite.
It is a remote detachment administered by Edwards Air Force Base, and the facility is officially called either Homey Airport or Groom Lake, after the salt flat that is near the airport.
Homey Airport?
Homey.
Oh, not like Homey.
Yeah. Like it's Homey.
Okay.
Details of its operation are not made public, but the Air Force says that it's an open training range and it is commonly thought to support the development and testing of experimental aircraft and weapon systems. Both the CIA and the Air Force acquired the site in 1955 for Project Aquatone, which was a project leading the development of the Lockheed U-2 Strategic Reconnaissance Aircraft.
Reconnaissance?
Can't say that word.
What?
So U-2 is a type of aircraft, and it was like super secret.
Not just the band from
Oh God, it's a beautiful day. Oh no, shut the fuck up. No, it was an aircraft, and this specific project dealt with us learning how to use that aircraft and doing some other secret squirrel shit.
Okay. Squirrel. I had a squirrel in my backyard today. I watched him for an hour. Anywho,
It's a very long time.
but he kept coming and going. He was living his best life.
What's his name?
Didn't give him a name, but
Child.
he also looked like he might have had fleas because he kept rubbing his face on my fence after he was like eating a pine cone. I wanted to go outside and befriend him, but Evan warned me against it.
Probably a good idea. His name is Philip.
Elephant, I can't.
The project director knew that they couldn't conduct the flight test and pilot training programs out of Edwards Air Force Base or at Lockheed's Palmdale facility, given the extreme secrecy around the project. That lake bed made an ideal strip for testing the aircraft, and the Immigrant Valley's mountain ranges and the NTS perimeter protected the site from visitors. So, like I said, they have a reason. They just need a location that gives them the secrecy that they need.
Okay.
The person who designed the Lockheed's U-2 aircraft, named Kelly Johnson, who is a man, by the way, he nicknamed the site Paradise Ranch to help encourage workers to move to the literal middle of nowhere.
Okay.
Because they're like, we have this project, we want to get going, we need people to help work on it, but it's a fucking dry ass lake bed.
Mhm.
So let's call it Paradise Ranch to get some people to move their families over here and work.
Gotcha.
Area 51 is in the southern portion of Nevada, 83 miles northwest of Las Vegas, in case you're wondering. The surrounding area is a popular tourist destination, including a small town of Rachel on the extraterrestrial highway.
Oh, there's a whole highway.
There is. Fun fact, Rachel has a population of roughly 70 people, and part of the movie Independence Day was filmed there.
Like 70.
70. It used to be
it's one
38.
family. It is one family.
It went up from 38, so yeah.
That's all inbreeding.
No judgment if you listen from there, but yes.
I'm just speculating here. Maybe two families.
Yeah,
but
it's mostly like just a pass-through town.
I feel like those are some muddy waters.
Go visit it and let me know.
I know.
Oh no. Area 51 shares a border with the Yucca Flats region of the Nevada test site, the location of 739 of the 928 nuclear tests conducted by the United States Department of Energy. It is unclear how Area 51 got that specific nickname,
Okay.
though it was used in a CIA document from the Vietnam War and began being used during construction of a new 8,500-foot runway to replace the existing 5,000-foot runway. And the reason that they needed to alter the size of the runway and a couple other things was for a different project
Okay.
called Project Oxcart. Like I said, my goal in life is to come up and name one of these fucking projects.
You would be really good
I
at
think
it.
I would. So Project Oxcart was established in August of 1959, and the purpose was to study anti-radar studies, aerodynamic structural tests, and engineering designs, as well as all the later work on the Lockheed A-12, which is another type of aircraft.
That one's not as exciting as you two. There isn't a band named that I am aware of.
No.
I mean, there might be.
It might be. In January of 1962, the Federal Aviation Administration, or the FAA, expanded the restricted airspace in the vicinity of Groom Lake, aka Area 51, and the lake bed became the center of a 600 square mile addition to the restricted area. During the Cold War, one of the missions carried out by the United States was the test and evaluation of captured Soviet fighter aircrafts. Beginning in the late 1960s and for several decades after, Area 51 played host to an assortment of Soviet-built aircraft.
Okay. Damn Russians.
I know. In August of 1966, Iraqi Air Force fighter pilot Captain Munir Redfa.
Munir. Probably, if I had to take a guess.
Well, this captain defected, flying his MiG-21 to Israel after being ordered to attack Iraqi Kurd villages with napalm.
I love curd. Sorry.
Like cheese curds?
No, like lemon curd.
Oh, dude, I had cheese curds for the first time.
Oh,
so amazing.
yes, they are.
Fried and go to Canada, get some poutine. Yeah. I've heard of it. I've never tried it.
It's delicious. It's cheese curds with fries and gravy.
I think that
So
would be very good.
Anywho, what kind of curd? Sorry, Iraqi curd images.
So he
napalm.
Yes, so he was supposed to put some napalm out and didn't. His aircraft was transferred to Area 51 in late 1967 for study because this was a Soviet aircraft, which is what they want to study. In 1968, the U.S. Air Force and Navy jointly formed a project known as Have Donuts, but it's spelled like the weird British way or something.
Oh, not like D-O-N-U-T.
No, it's D-O-G-H-N-U-T.
Like donut, like the very literal spelling of donut.
Yes.
I don't like that.
I don't either. But anyway, that project was where all these different acronyms flew the acquired Soviet MiG-21.
Okay.
The United States government has provided minimal information regarding Area 51.
Shocker.
Security clearances are checked regularly. Cameras and weaponry are not allowed. And even military pilots training in the Nevada test and training range risk disciplinary action if they start to go towards the exclusionary box surrounding 51's airspace. Surveillance is supplemented using buried motion sensors, among other things.
That's interesting.
And apparently they have sensors far away, so it lets them know if someone's approaching, which was found out during the whole Storm Area 51 thing a couple years ago.
I forgot about that.
So did I until I started doing this. The perimeter of the base is marked by orange posts and patrolled by guards and white pickup trucks and camouflage fatigues. The guards are properly referred to as camo dudes by enthusiasts. Very original people.
It's like Gracie names.
The guards will not answer any questions about their employers. However, according to the New York Daily News, there are indications that they are employed through a contractor such as ACOM, which is just a large government contractor.
Yeah. Okay.
Signage around the base perimeter advises that deadly force is authorized against trespassers, which may be found out firsthand again during the whole Swarm Area 51.
Did anyone get shot?
No, I don't think so. But the people that went, let's say it was on a Tuesday, people went on like a Sunday before and they found out, oh, this maybe isn't a good idea, but no one listened. I don't think they got shot, but they got threatened for sure.
Okay.
In 1998, the United States Air Force officially acknowledged the site's existence. On June 25th, 2013, the CIA released an official history of the U-2 and Project Oxcart, which acknowledged that the U-2 was tested at Area 51 in response to a Freedom of Information Act submitted in 2005.
Okay.
In 1994, two contractors named Walter Kaza and Robert Frost died. 5 unnamed civilian contractors and the widows of Kaza and Frost sued the Air Force and the EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency.
What is that? It's from the Simpsons movie.
I feel like this is not the first time you have done this. I don't know why it keeps coming up. I'll have to like put in a little thing.
Yeah, with comic book guy.
Okay, so these people died.
Okay, but so yeah, why did they die? What happened?
So the 5 alive civilian contractors claimed, because those are the only ones left to bring this lawsuit, they worked with these 2 guys that died.
Okay.
They claimed that they had been present when large quantities of unknown chemicals had been burned in open pits and trenches around Area 51.
Tires.
Something. Yeah, maybe a little bit more toxic. Rutgers University biochemists analyzed biopsies from all of the complainants and found high levels of dioxin, dibenzofuran, and
trichloroethylene. Trichloroethylene.
Trichotillomania.
I do not rip all my hair out anymore.
In their body fat. So they did biopsies. They found these weird 3 things that had very high levels.
Okay.
The complainants alleged that they had sustained skin, liver, and respiratory issues due to their work in Area 51, and that this had contributed to the deaths of Frost and Kaza.
Gotcha.
The lawsuit sought compensation for the injuries, claiming that the Air Force had illegally handled toxic material and that the EPA had failed in its duty to enforce the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, which governs the handling of dangerous materials. The government invoked the state's secrets privilege and petitioned the U.S. District Judge Philip Pro to disallow disclosure of classified documents or explanation of the secret witnesses, claiming that this would expose the classified information and threaten national security.
Okay.
So normally, if the government doesn't want to admit something, they just pull this state secrets privilege.
Of
and
security.
it's a matter of national security. And then usually it works for that.
That's their get out of jail free card.
So Judge Pro rejected the government's argument. So then President Clinton got involved and shut that shit down.
Oh, okay.
The lawyer then appealed the literal president's decision and went all the way to the U.S. Court of Appeals, to the Ninth Circuit, saying that the government was abusing its power to classify material. The Secretary of the Air Force, Sheila E. Winnall, filed a brief which stated that disclosure of the materials present in the air and the water near Area 51, quote, can reveal military operational capabilities or the nature and scope of classified operations, end quote. The Ninth Circuit agreed, and the lawsuit was officially closed. On January 28th, 2019, an unidentified man drove through a security checkpoint near Mercury, Nevada, in an apparent attempt to enter the base. After an 8-mile vehicle pursuit by base security, the man exited the vehicle carrying a cylindrical object and was shot dead by the NNSS security and sheriff's deputies after refusing commands to stop.
Do we know what the spherical object
Of
was?
course not.
Or cylindrical, excuse me?
I would think it's like a fucking thermos or something. I think they just wanted to resist.
It's like just his like.
soup.
I was thinking his Yeti or his Stanley.
There you go. Now we're going to touch on a couple of the popular conspiracy theories that surround Area 51. So some people believe the following theories about Area 51. It stores and examines the crashed alien spaceship allegedly recovered from Roswell, New Mexico, as well as the captured aliens that were inside of the spaceship.
That's what I think.
That's what I think. Area 51 is where these secret meetings with aliens happen.
Sure.
They develop exotic energy weapons for the Strategic Defense Initiative.
Oh.
They are exploring or developing weather control, time travel, and teleportation technology.
Can they fix our global warming?
Maybe they can, but they don't want to.
Maybe they create.
Oh, dun, dun, dun. Area 51, associated with the National Order, and hold meetings there. Area 51 had the transcontinental underground railroad system.
Is Harriet Tubman down there?
She's dead.
Maybe there's an alien version of
Ooh, They have a disappearing airship nicknamed Cheshire Airship after the Cheshire Cat. Lastly, they have engineering based on alien technology there.
Okay.
So since the mid-1950s, there have been many rumored UFO sightings, which occurred most often during the early evening hours. And this is all within the area. So Roswell, as well as Area 51.
Okay.
Veterans who worked at Area 51, specifically during the Project Oxcart time, say that their work prompted many UFO sighting claims because the U-2s that they had flown had silver wings, which reflected the setting sun, giving the aircraft a fiery appearance, along with its wide, disc-like fuselage design.
Fuselage?
Yeah. Designed to carry vast quantities of fuel. The aircraft's titanium body, moving as fast as a bullet, would reflect the sun's rays in a way that could make anyone think it was a UFO. So that's their like fucking PC way of saying, I know you think you saw a UFO, but our fucking U-2s are so cool.
Oh.
And it's fucking ergonometry shit makes it look like a UFO. All right, so now we're going to talk about a dude named Bob Lazar. Have you ever heard that name?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Is it Lazar or Lazar?
Lazar.
It'd be cool if it was Lazar.
Lazar. So Bob is a scientist dude who became famous, or what is most widely known for his claims that he was hired in the late 1980s to reverse engineer extraterrestrial technology.
How can you reverse engineer something that's extraterrestrial if we don't even have those types of materials? Unless they're being harvested from others. Okay, continue.
The work supposedly occurred at a secret site called S4, which is a subsidiary installation alleged inside of Area 51. These are a lot of big words.
I know. I'm sure when you're sober and right.
I say maybe I shouldn't have started drinking this drink so much. When Bob publicly announced this big secret, people naturally started looking into him and his background to see if he was credible or sure. It seems that people are split on his believability since they believe he lied about his education and his job history, which would bring direct credit or discredit to him.
Sure, that makes sense.
So Bob claimed that he obtained a master's degree in physics from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT, as well as a master's degree in electronics from the California Institute of Technology, or Caltech.
How could you afford 2 masters?
Well, this was in the 80s. Maybe it was cheaper then.
I'm sure it was, but still, it just seems, on the surface, that seems a little sus.
There you go. When people did some digging, they found that neither university showed a record of Bob having studied there. And a couple of scientists commented about how Bob did so poorly in high school that he never would have been accepted to either one of these colleges.
Oh, okay.
Bob was seemingly unable to provide any types of the names of lecturers or fellow students from either school, but there was mention of a Caltech professor who was actually a professor at Pierce Junior College.
Isn't that out here?
That is out here. That's where Mom went.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, I've driven by that.
So he won't name any names of lecturers or students, but he did kind of throw out this one lecturer to get people off his back. But when they did some digging, they're like, he literally works at Pierce Junior College in Southern California.
Only remember the name of one professor I had in college. And the only reason I remember his name is because Mom and Dad befriended him when Mom took.
Oh, Jandorf. He's
dead.
R.I.P.
Yeah. He was cool. He was
I cheated so fucking much in that class.
He was the astronomy professor, and our father, being the man that he is, befriends anyone who
so did
looks
Mom
at him. But yes, Mom did look at he was her professor. It was her class. But yeah.
I know. So that gave me some street cred when I took the class next, and then I just cheated my entire way through it.
And I think I took the class first, so I reaped no benefit.
Oh, yeah. He likes Mom.
Aliens.
Yes. Space. Okay, as far as Bob's
big boy, that's where we went to lunch today.
That's a lot of finger guns. As far as Bob's past employment goes, he claimed to have worked as a physicist during his tenure at the Los Alamos Mason Physics Facility in 1982.
Let me guess, no one could validate that either.
Inquiry into his position at the facility, however, revealed his role to have been a technician for a contractor firm, and that he worked neither as a physicist nor for Los Alamos.
Now, when people are inquiring, is it just John and Jane Doe off the street, like, hey, did so-and-so work here? Because, like, can't they not give out information like that?
I mean, I think it depends on employers. Maybe you can look at his LinkedIn.
I don't think LinkedIn was a thing in the 80s.
The 80s equivalent. But I mean, technically, I think I could pretend to be an employer.
I
call
guess
up
you
someone and
could.
say, hey, this person's an applicant. Can you at least confirm that they work for you? I'm just checking their resume.
I mean, I can't.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It's just weird. Anyway, I'm sorry. You can just move on from that.
So he never worked, allegedly, for this Los Alamos. He wasn't a physicist. Not that anyone could prove, at least. Sure. In May of 1989, Bob appeared in an interview with an investigative reporter, George Knapp.
I know that name.
On Las Vegas TV station KLAS under the pseudonym Dennis and with his face hidden.
Oh.
He did this so he could discuss his employment at S4, which is that super secret hidden place inside of the super secret Area 51.
He was like a voice changer and stuff.
No, but not again. Like one of those like glasses with the nose and the mustache. He claimed that the site consisted of concealed aircraft hangars built into the mountainside. He stated his job was to help with the reverse engineering of one of 9 flying saucers, which he alleged were extraterrestrial in origin. He claimed that one of the flying saucers, the one he coined Sport Model, was manufactured out of a metallic substance similar in appearance and touch of liquid titanium.
Like the Terminator, T2.
In November of the same year, Bob did another interview, this time with his real name and his face uncovered, and stated that his job interview for work at the facility was with contractor EG&G, and that his employer was the United States Navy. Unsurprisingly, EG&G stated they had no records on him, and the United States Air Force also denied his employment. But hey, even if it were legit, I doubt that they would fucking come to these dudes' behalf.
But I also feel like he should know that. And like, why would you be running your mouth about stuff like
because he feels like the people got a right to know. He's a whistleblower. He allegedly.
Potentially.
To him, he is.
Yes.
So Bob had publicly stated that he believes his employment and education records have been erased.
Oh,
I made him seem crazy.
I didn't think about that as an option.
I did. Because if they did do super secret shit at Area 51,
That's true.
they're not going to want to fucking announce it. And if some dude, they don't want
a
to,
paper trail.
they're going to take away his credibility. They're going to make him seem like a crazy nut job.
That's a good point. I guess because I don't have such nefarious thoughts and intentions that I'm not thinking. Why are you looking at
Why are you looking at me like that?
Like, I don't know.
That sounded a little pointed.
I mean, I think we just assess situations a little bit differently. I don't think about how to ruin people's lives.
Okay. All right. So Bob explained as part of the gravity harnessing propulsion, one of the captured and studied crafts used an element called 115, which was unknown to Earth. Bob claimed that the element was unknown to us because it is, quote, impossible to synthesize an element that is that heavy here on Earth.
Okay.
The substance has to come from a place where super heavy elements could have been produced naturally, end quote. He also stated that the US government had collected roughly 500 pounds of this element. To Bob's credit, in 2003, element 115 was discovered by Russian scientists. It is a synthetic radioactive element, and it was added to the periodic table in 2013. However, this element, also called muscovium, is not the same thing as the one Bob claimed to have found. So far, no use has been found for the muscovium, which has a half-life of less than a second and thus decays so quickly you can't do anything with it.
Okay.
So moving on to the actual alien claims, Bob claimed that during the time in the program, he read briefing documents describing the historical involvement of Earth for the past 10,000 years with extraterrestrial beings described as gray aliens from a planet orbiting the twin binary star system Zeta Reticuli.
Okay.
As of September 2019, no extrasolar planets have been found in the Zeta Reticuli system, which is a real system.
Oh, okay.
In 1989, Bob said that the seats of the saucer that he found in Area 51/S4 were approximately child size and that they had not seen and that he had seen alien cadavers of the same child size.
Oh. Small gray things.
Yeah. And just for reference, the three most common or wildly known types of aliens are the gray aliens, the Nordic, and the reptilian.
What's a Nordic?
I'll go on with that.
Okay.
So gray aliens are what most people think of when they think of an alien. They are not green. They are gray in color. They're very small, just under 3.5 feet tall. They are hairless. They have the big heads, the big almond black eyes, nostrils, but no nose, and slits for mouth, no ears, and then the 3 fingers, including the thumb usually.
Okay.
Nordic aliens. So there was a show on FX, I think.
Okay.
I don't remember the name of it. It was like a comedy about aliens.
I know what you're talking about. Hold on.
And it had all of them, the Nordic, the reptilians, and the gray.
Okay.
I used to watch it, but I can't remember what it's called.
People of Earth.
People of Earth.
Yes.
If you watch that show, even though it is a comedy, it's supposed to
That shit was
the
funny.
3 types. It really is. So Nordic aliens are humanoids with stereotypic Nordic features. So they're tall, they have blonde hair, blue eyes. They have been featured in several cases of conduct. It is said that they are from ancient Earth, but presented themselves as extraterrestrials in the past when they moved from living on the surface to living underground around the Himalayas after a natural event.
Oh.
So those are the most handsome, I guess.
Yes, I remember because all 3 of them were up in a different ship. Yes. That is so funny. I feel like we should watch that.
We should. And then reptilians, or AKA lizard people, as most people might call them, are tall, scaly humanoids. Reptilian humanoid dates back as far as ancient Egypt when the crocodile-headed river god Sobek. This is the type of alien that many people believe celebrities, people in government are a part of. Going back to Bob, in 2017, his workplace was raided by the FBI because he has his own scientific job.
Oh, okay.
He's not a scientist, but he has a scientific job, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So it was raided by the FBI and local police. Records obtained through the Freedom of Information Act showed that the raid was part of a murder investigation to determine whether his company sold thallium to a murder suspect in Michigan.
Oh.
But many people, mostly Bob, said, no. They didn't raid me for a murder. They raided me because they wanted to find element 115, which I may or may not have a little bit of, or they think I do.
Interesting.
In 1990, Bob was arrested for aiding and abetting a prostitution ring.
I mean, The second time prostitution's come up. It's just like, we saw it advertised blatantly on the side of the road.
Your dad didn't know what a dirty Sanchez was.
We encouraged him to Google it when
He got very quiet, so I have a feeling he did. So his felony was reduced to felony pandering, which he pleaded guilty to.
Okay.
So in 2006, Bob and his wife, Joy White, were charged with violating the Federal Hazardous Substances Act for shipping restricted chemicals across state lines.
What, 115?
No, different one though.
Also, I just have to say,
Yeah.
at no point did I think Bob was married. I'm sorry.
There's usually someone for everyone.
That's true. There really is. But I'm a terrible.
The charges stemmed from a 2003 raid, like I mentioned earlier, on his United Nuclear, that's the name of his business,
Oh, okay.
where chemical sales records were examined. Bob owns the company and pleaded guilty to these charges.
Okay.
So many people in the public have taken his two arrests, one for pandering, one for improperly
Shipping
stuff.
these
Shit. So they took those two arrests, and that furthers their reasoning of why he's crazy and why he can't be trusted. Even though personally, I don't think any of those has anything to do.
No, it almost seems like he's getting too much attention. It's like,
Right.
why? Why?
Because
is
they
he
want
on
him to
this guy?
seem
They're trying.
untouchable.
Yes. No, I get that. So it's like you're spending a whole lot of energy on him. Clearly, there's some other motivation.
I agree. So now we're going to talk about the Roswell.
No.
Have you heard of this?
Yes, there's
Okay.
a whole show about it called Roswell.
So in early June of 1947, there was a rancher named W.W. Mac Brazel. So we're just going to call him Mac from now on.
Please.
He owned a property in Lincoln County, New Mexico, approximately 75 miles,
75
miles north of New Mexico. Mac had found wreckage scattered all over his property, including rubber strips, tin foil, and thin wooden beams, along with thick paper.
Then like dowels?
Not circular, just like strips, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Mac did not have a phone or radio access on his property because this is the 1940s,
Sure.
which is important because on June 24th, 1947, the summer during the Cold War,
Oh.
press all over the nation covered a story about Kenneth Arnold. Arnold was an American aviator, and he publicly stated on June 24th that he allegedly witnessed flying saucers perform maneuvers beyond the capabilities of any known aircraft. The publicity of his report incited waves of over 800 UFO sightings. But because Mac doesn't have phone,
He knew
or
nothing
radio
about
access, he
it.
didn't know anything about this.
Oh, okay.
The reason he found out was because he went and visited his uncle in Corona. And his uncle's like, hey, you got to hear all about this. And he goes, well, that's weird because I found this random shit on my property. I wonder if it's connected.
Oh.
The next day, on July 6th, Mac informed Sheriff George Wilcox of the debris he had found. The sheriff called Roswell Army Airfield, RAAF, RAF, who assigned Major Jesse Marshall and Captain Cavett to return with Mac and gather all of the materials from his ranch.
That seems strange that they would dedicate so many resources to go recover some stuff from some
And like,
dude's
not
ranch.
a sheriff I get, but like an army official or an Air Force official.
That seems like overkill as far as the response goes. I
Right.
don't understand that.
So on July 8th, RAF Public Information Officer Walter Haut issued a press release stating that the military had recovered a flying disc near Roswell. Robert Porter, a RAF flight engineer, was part of the crew who loaded what he was told was a flying saucer onto the flight bound for Fort Worth Army Airfield. He described the material packaged in wrapping paper when he received it as lightweight and not too large to fit inside the trunk of his car. But technically, it's the material, so it's pieces.
Oh, so not the whole thing, because I'm like, yeah, it can fit in the trunk.
No, because he thought like he found a flying saucer. He found random pieces. And they
That's
put it all
right.
together, put it in wrapping paper,
Wrapped it
basically, and that amount was small enough to fit in the trunk of his car.
Gotcha.
The following day, the Roswell Daily Record ran a story about the crash and the RAF's astonishing claims. But the U.S. Army officials quickly reversed themselves on the flying saucer claims, stating that the found debris was actually from a weather balloon and releasing photographs of Major Marcel posing with pieces of the supposed weather balloon debris as proof.
Interesting.
So this is the article that they had posted when they literally put out a public statement saying that it was a flying saucer. And then this is the picture that they posted the next day of this dude be like, no, see, it's weather balloon pieces. That's what we found.
It does look like my water balloons and shit.
It kind of does.
Or like one of those emergency blankets.
It's a black and white photo, but yeah.
Well, I mean, that's sepia.
Okay, Instagram 2000. On July 9th, the Roswell Daily Record highlighted that no engine or metal parts had been found in the wreckage.
Oh, okay.
On July 10th, military personnel at Alamo Gordo gave a misleading demonstration to the press. 4 officers provided a false account of mundane weather balloon usage throughout the previous year. They demonstrated the balloon configurations that used many of the unusual configurations employed by the Mogul team as ways to gather meteorological data, offering a plausible explanation for any usual aspects.
Okay.
So they're like, shit, we already said it was flying saucers and we're going back. Now it's a weather balloon. So we should show the public what our weather balloons look like, how they fly, how it can look like a UFO.
Really
when we're
force that narrative. Okay.
and explain reasons why we use weather balloons. Major Wilbur D. Pitchard, that was stationed at that airfield, would later describe the weather balloon story as, quote, an attempt to deflect attention from the top secret Mogul project.
Oh.
So he didn't think it was aliens. He thought they were
trying to cover up for something else.
Yeah. So this is pictures of the weather balloon demonstration.
That shit doesn't look like the crinkly material up in the other picture.
Not at all. But apparently if you pop it, that's what it's supposed to look like.
I don't know. That just looks like one of those punch-a-balloons.
Oh, yeah. So I guess technically the wooden dowels could have come from that right there.
Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't seem quite right. Yes.
In 1980, there was a book published titled The Roswell Incident. And in that book, it claimed the discovery of alien bodies. The book argued that the extraterrestrial craft was flying over New Mexico desert to observe nuclear weapons activity when a lightning strike killed the alien crew.
Aww.
It alleged that after recovering the crashed alien technology, the U.S. government engaged a cover-up to prevent mass panic. As I mentioned earlier, this is why many conspiracy theorists believe that aliens' bodies were taken and is currently being stored at Area 51. The government and military explained why the alien body theory, saying that no, it wasn't aliens. They were parachute dummies for our balloons that we had up. Which to me just confirms that they definitely found fucking bodies. Because why wouldn't you say, no, there wasn't anything? Obviously, there was some sort of bodies found.
Yeah.
But now you're trying to say it's dummies. And this is the picture they posted of what the crash dummies look like, which look nothing like fucking alien.
No.
They look like
They look
CPR
like
dummies.
Dummies, yeah.
But they have full bodies. On August 5th, 1989, Stanton Friedman interviewed former mortician Glenn Dennis. Dennis claimed to have received 4 or 5 calls from the airbase with questions about body preservation and inquiries about small or hermetically sealed caskets. He further claimed that the local nurse told him she had witnessed an alien autopsy.
Oh.
Glenn Dennis has been called the star witness of the Roswell incident. He came out and said, "Oh, I fabricated the nurse's name because when they looked into it, he's like, I was protecting her identity."
I mean, I can see that.
People don't believe him, but he has some good reasoning for the lies that have come up, I guess. In September of 1991, Dennis co-founded the UFO Museum in Roswell, along with former RAF Public Affairs Officer Walter Haut and Max Little. Also in 1991, retired United States Air Force Brigadier General Thomas Dubois had posed with the debris for press photographs in 1947, and he acknowledged that the weather balloon was a cover story.
Of course, that didn't look anything like it.
But they said it was a cover story for the Project Mogul, not for Alien.
I mean, it's a cover story, period.
Yeah.
We've established that.
Under pressure from a New Mexico congressman and the General Accounting Office, the Air Force provided official responses to Roswell's conspiracy theories during the mid-1990s. The initial 1994 U.S. Air Force report admitted that the weather balloon explanation, as I mentioned, was to cover for Project Mogul, which was a military surveillance program.
Okay.
The following year, the Roswell report, Fact versus Fiction, in the New Mexico desert supported this with extensive documentation that narrowed the cause of debris to a specific Mogul balloon train launched in June, and it was somewhere lost. So they're like, okay, now we got to double down on this fucking our second cover story, if
Right.
you will. So we actually have perfect documentation that shows that on June 4th, we launched a weather balloon, but we couldn't find it and it's lost. So that must be the recovered debris that we found.
Sure.
In 1997, the Air Force published a second report, the Roswell Report, Case Closed. It detailed how eyewitness accounts of military personnel loading aliens into body bags matched the Air Force's procedures for retrieving parachute test dummies in insulation bags designed to shield temperature-sensitive equipment in the desert.
How wildly convenient.
Right? Like,
So,
I have dummies, and I don't do that shit.
no. But testing, those environmental situation testing, that's the stuff that Evan used to do at his old job.
I knew it was something like that.
Yeah, which is weird. Anyhow,
Fun fact.
I wonder how.
Did he?
I know.
Alien?
He couldn't tell me a lot about the stuff because he had all these clearances at work and he wasn't
Aliens.
privy to share.
Lastly, I found an LA Times article from September of 2014. It was titled The Road to Area 51 for anyone who wants to read it.
Mm.
And in this article, 5 men were interviewed.
It's a lot of men.
There was Colonel Hugh Slip Slater.
I hate the way Colonel is spelled. Sorry.
Colonial? I know.
No, yeah.
Where is the R?
I don't know. I know there's an explanation and it's bullshit and it doesn't make sense.
I know it grinds my gears.
It triggers me. Continue.
So Slip Slater, he was 87 at the time of this article.
What a great name for an old man.
I know, right? He was the commander of the Area 51 base in the 1960s.
Ready?
There was Edward Lockvick, who was 90 at the time of the article. He spent 3 decades radar testing some of the world's most famous aircrafts, including the aforementioned U-2, the A-12 Oxcart, and then an F-117. Kenneth Collins, who was 80 at the time of the article, he was a CIA experimental test pilot.
I'm surprised all of these men are alive.
Well, it sounded like they were on the last
Life
lives of their
Yeah.
life, which is why they did this article. Thornton T.B. Barnes, who was 72 at the time, he was an Area 51 Special Projects engineer. And then Harry Martin, who was 77. He was one of the men in charge of the base's 500,000-gallon monthly supply of spy plane fuel.
Oh.
So these 5 men were all able to tell stories that and go officially on the record due to the CIA declassifying the Oxcart program, which is how we know about it today.
Got you.
T.D. Barnes explained in the article that, quote, we did reverse engineer a lot of foreign technology, including the Soviet MiG fighter jet, out of the area, even though the MiG wasn't shaped like a flying saucer.
Sure.
Barnes also explained how he worked on nuclear rocket program called Project Nerva inside underground chambers of Jackass Flats in Area 51's backyard. 3 test cell facilities were connected by a railroad, but everything else was underground. So he is confirming Lazar's claims that there is an underground railroad, that there's underground tunnels.
So it's starting to support some of the things that
They can't go into super detail about everything because only Project Oxcart was declassified.
Yeah, but it's adding just enough to kind of reinstate some of that credibility that was stripped from him.
Yep. And then Colonel Slater, how there were a total of 2,850 Oxcart test flights that were flown out of Area 51 while he was in charge. Commercial pilots would report them to the FAA, and when they'd land in California, they'd be met by FBI agents who made them sign non-disclosure forms. But not everyone kept quiet, hence the birth of Area 51 and UFO lore. The sightings incited uproar in Nevada when the surrounding areas were reported in the Project Blue Book, which I want to cover one day. It is all of the declassified shit about aliens, but that would take up a whole entire episode, which is why I'm just mentioning it. Since none of the 5 men outright denied the allegations of aliens being stored in Area 51, even though I don't think they were directly asked, I continue to believe that the CIA and everyone else is covering up for aliens.
I think it's real.
And let us not forget when the Pentagon basically came right out and admitted they were aliens in 2020.
Yes, recently, even to distract from COVID, whatever.
Or I think they thought COVID was so big it would
they
just
just slip right under the radar. But yeah, that's for real a thing. They are out there.
That is Area 51.
I wholeheartedly believe in all of it.
And I couldn't find it, but I had heard stories that people were looking at plans or something, and that there was like additions that were never officially recorded, secret shit, where they would keep the aliens.
No, I have no doubt that that's something that the government, for the most part, wants to keep under wraps. But that is totally a thing.
I agree.
Mulder and Scully. Yeah.
from
X-Files.
oh
Truth is out there.
that's
the
the Twilight Zone.
That's the wrong tone. I'm sorry for everyone's ears.
I was gonna say Brooklyn Nine-Nine because there's a Scully in there, isn't there? The fat guy.
Oh god. Oh, the captain for Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
But
He's dead. He died. He died.
Why?
Probably cancer. I don't remember. Andre.
The giant.
I'm sorry. No, he's dead too. But yeah, okay. Aliens, man.
What are you gonna cover next week?
I think at the request of my child, I am going to do Loch Ness Monster.
Oh,
She talks about Nessie all the time.
Okay.
And she keeps requesting it. So that is what my topic is going to be.
Did she listen to our episodes?
No, but
She's supposed to be included.
she wants to feel like she had a hand in it. And I let her know what topics. And sometimes I'll pick her up from school and I'll be listening to episodes every now and again. And then she's like, do you talk about me? I'm like, sometimes. And then she's like, well, do this. And I haven't done it. So this is me doing it.
Okay, that's fun.
Yeah. But yeah, so like as Jackie mentioned previously, because we're gonna be trying to record the Q&A 1 year special episode, send us any questions that you want us to answer, and you can reach us on our various forms of social media to do that. Our Instagram, Crack Sisters Conspiracies. Send us an email, cracksistersconspiracies@gmail.com. Do not send us any messages on Facebook or X. We will not read them.
I did have a inkling to sign into Twitter. Maybe we'll do that. Please
Maybe.
don't, but I'll check it.
Instagram and email, those are the best avenues. And then if you want to get extra goodies and watch us and, be privy to all the things, you can join our Patreon. We got a new subscriber not that long ago. So slowly but surely we're gaining some momentum. We have a TikTok, which I'm still figuring out captions and all that shit. But, you can check us out there. You can get just a taste, a little
tinkle, if you will.
A tinkle. Oh God,
she will not.
We might get taken down for community rights violations. But yeah, so reach out to us, let us know. And with that, I'm gonna say stay cracked, y'all.
And have a great day.